Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Today, Andrew Tate talks about body language. Let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Without speaking. Since the dawn of human time, people have always communicated without speaking, and a man's role, and I'm assuming you're a man because I doubt a female would have bought this, a man's role is very, very specific in his body language. In this course, you're going to see a video where I kind of do an overview on body language, and I basically say, be combative, but I'm going to go into that into more detail in this video. The reason I say be combative is because being combative is the most important body language which exists, which you can portray to other men and to women. Because this is the only body language which was important for millennia, for in human existence. The only important body language was the body language that you were not an easy target. It attracted women and it made men respect you. So we're going to talk about the broad basics of body language, and then we're going to go into some little tips and tricks overall. So the first thing I want you to understand is combative does not mean walking around swaying your shoulders like this. Combative means looking alert. I think Jordan Peterson said something about this, but I don't think his body language is particularly alpha. In fact, I don't think the world has many alpha role models. If you name the right-wing role models like Milo and Jordan Peterson, all these people are just weirdos. None of them are particularly overtly alpha besides Trump himself.
Right. Because it's do as the priest says, not as the priest does.
But Trump is a great guy to study body language-wise. You want a body language lesson, watch Trump. He doesn't play games. Anyway, you have to look combative. So to look combative, it's basic things. It means be ready for a fight. That does not mean project aggression. It means be ready for a fight. So if you were walking down the road, are you more ready for a fight with your hands in your pockets or your hands outside of your pockets?
Outside.
Are you more ready for a fight if you're staring at your phone with your head down or with your head up, with your shoulders back, with your posture correct? What I'm going to teach you in this course is not just going to be do this, do this, do this. It's how to think about body language so that you're overtly aware of how you're acting. You need to be aware of how you act. So you need to have a correct posture. You need to sit up straight, sit properly. You need to have your hands out of your pockets. You need to look where you're going and not look down. Not be distracted. Not look like a victim. This is extremely important when projecting to men, and it's also important when projecting to women. So we're going to go in that in detail in this course.
Right. This is wise advice. Again, what is the point of body language? Body language projects openness, lack of fear. And actually, Andrew he's saying it in a really nice and clear way. Don't project or portray yourself as though you're a target. Okay, Shilling time. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, and Tom M. Shout out to them. Link is in the description. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Go to my Patreon and subscribe. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. Shilling is done. Let's continue.
So, I know I just mentioned Trump, but we also can't forget about Putin, because he was KGB trained. He knows exactly how to act. So when someone's talking to him and he wants to make it clear he doesn't give a fuck what they say, he will, for example, lean back in his chair. So Putin will sit there and you'll start talking to him and he'll sit like this. This is Putin's I don't give a fuck. This is Putin's I'm not listening. Many traditional body language courses will teach you, if you cross your arms, you're not receptive. This is true. You know, like this shows you're not open, you're not receptive, you're crossing your arms, etc. But there's much more subtle moves like leaning back in your chair. Leaning back in your chair is a great one. I use it all the time. Someone will sit there, they'll start talking to me. If I don't like what they have to say, I'll lean back in my chair. I'll still look at them while I lean back in my chair, but I'll look directly at them. And they'll know, oh fuck, I've upset him somehow.
Right. So what is the point of leaning back? You're leaning back, which means you're a harder target to hit, right? And you're looking directly at the guy, which is a sign of aggression. So if you're trying, and I don't know, guys, if you know this, building rapport with other men, looking them in the eye is actually intimidation. That doesn't build rapport. If you want to build rapport with another man, you actually don't, you stand shoulder to shoulder, side on to each other, or 45 degrees. And you're not staring directly into the guy's eyes like it's a competition. But if you want something from the guy, or he wants something from you, and you want a better bargaining position, that's when you would use this, right? When you would lean back and just stare at the guy, right? And the guy will, that would be an intimidation tactic, right?
So I'll make that clear. So we're going to go over a few things. The first thing we're going to talk about is being trusted and listened to. Now, if you've bought my other courses, you know that my brain is a mega hive of unlimited potential. Petabytes of... Is petabyte even a thing?
Petabyte is the
We'll
word.
go back there. If you've bought my other courses, you'll know that my brain is unrivaled by anyone else on this planet.
Okay.
Terabytes upon terabytes of
Narcissist.
information from fuck knows where. I'm just a genius. So like all my other videos, I'm just going to be talking. Bang, information's just going to be coming at you. You need to sit there, slow it down, watch it over and over again, decipher it, and put some things in action. Because I guarantee there's a lot you're doing wrong already. Right now, don't move. Your posture right now. Where are your hands? Are you sitting up straight? Do you even look? Are you sitting correctly? Or are you all like in your chair? Maybe you're already making mistakes. You don't know. So the first things we're going to talk about is how to be listened to and trustworthy. I have been to court 6 times, and every time I've walked. And I've never used a lawyer, and I've represented myself. And the reason for that is because I speak very clearly, very precisely, and I know exactly how to use the human language. But secondly is my body language. So sometimes in court, you need to look believable. You need to look innocent. And to do this, you make yourself appear less aggressive. Big men have this problem. Small men are very concerned about looking big. Whereas a big man, in many situations, you need to look less intimidating. If my car breaks down and I want to knock on someone's door to use the phone, I know that's super old school. And I know that's how people get murdered in every single movie. But it's just an example. But if I knock on a door, people don't answer the door to me.
That's right. If you're a huge fighter type guy, it's true. They won't answer the door. That's right. Unless you make yourself look less intimidating. And there are ways to make yourself look less intimidating. Smile. Bright. Open body language. And there's more. Okay. Looking weaker involves bad posture, right? So you could purposely make your posture worse as well.
When me and Tristan knock on doors, they look outside and go, what the fuck? Who the fuck is 2 6'5" dudes at the door? No chick is opening that door. Me and my brother used to have a job where we used to do door-to-door sales a long time ago. And we had to quit the job because no one would answer the door to us. Just fucking these 2 massive guys. We were like, what the fuck? And no one answered out the window. What? Can I sell you? Nah, get the fuck away from my house. So you have to try and change your body language to appear less aggressive. So we'd actively slunk or hold a clipboard or something to just make yourself seem smaller. So when I was in court and they were accusing me of things I didn't fucking do, but even though I was innocent, of course, you have to look innocent. So you don't look innocent by looking aggressive. You look innocent by looking smaller. You make yourself seem smaller. You'd add in stammering to your language. So I never say and ever. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't think it's fair. And you almost, in many ways, seem yourself appear less intelligent. Not less intelligent in a stupid, he's dumb, he did it way. In a very like, I couldn't hurt anyone. Women are experts at this. Women do this the best. Watch a female get pulled over by the police. Watch her just start going, oh, really? Playing stupid is a great way to play innocent.
Right. Awesome. Make the people think that you're weaker than you are. Clever. Interesting.
And it's very, very effective. What you'll find in body language, sometimes the biggest results is when you can juxtapose them against each other. So while I was in court, they'd ask me questions. They're like, oh no, I don't even really know how that works. To be honest, I don't really know. I'd add in these little delays. I'd deliberately slow my speech down. But then when I had to make a point, I'd completely flip it. And I'd be very adamant and direct with my words. Even now, and even in all my Tate speech videos, you'll notice how I use my hands. If I have a point to make, I use my hands to make the point. I direct the point with my hands. You're going to notice me doing it all the time now. Something I do on accident. But if I want to make a point, I'll say something like, and the reason for this, the reason your mom has a big ass is because she eats too much.
What he's doing is actually, it's funny, he has a very, because he's born in Britain, right, in England, he has a European way of gesturing, right? Different people actually have different ways of gesturing. It's interesting. And that slap thing, the people that do that the most often are people in the African American community, right? They do that slap thing that he just did. The cutting your palm with your other fist slap to as you're making a point to emphasize that point.
I'll do things like this. I'll explain the reason, I'll get your attention with my hands, and then I'll directly give you the reason, and I'll put it into your brain. I'll put it in with my hands. This is something I do completely by natural. I don't even have to think about it anymore, but it's something I did learn. And it's amazing with women. It's great with women when you're arguing with them, and they sit there and be like, blah, 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 blah. I didn't fucking fuck her. Be quiet. I haven't hit her, but the physical action makes them sit there and go, oh, okay. Just be very aware and very avert with your hands. Like I said, this course is just going to be knowledge flying at you. So when you talk, where are your hands? Where are they? How do you use them? Your hands, you should be extremely expressive with your hands, especially if you're a man. Before I was a kickboxing world champion, I worked in sales. And I had the best sales record in the fucking company, obviously. And a lot of that was down to body language. I would sit there in front of somebody. I sold TV advertising. I'd sit there and say, you need TV advertising. They go, oh, we do pretty good. I said, yeah, you do good now. But in the future, you're going to need TV advertising. It's the future of advertising. You're going to need it. I'll tell people you ain't got a choice. You better buy it today. You need this.
Right. So it's not a choice. It's what you need. You have to accept this. This is correct. My way is correct. That's asserting your frame using your hands as the tool for the assertion. Interesting.
Let's sit there and go, okay, well, let me look at your current strategy and then maybe I can improve it. No, fuck that garbage. If you're a salesman, you're watching this now, you better start telling people they need it. You can't live without this. You need this today. I understand my industry. No disrespect. You're a diaper company or you're a fucking water company. You understand water. You know more about water than me. I understand advertising. See what I've done there? You understand water. That's your thing. Advertising is my thing. You don't tell me about your advertising strategy because I don't fucking care. Advertising is my thing. It's mine. I own it. And if I say you need something, you better buy it. So you understand.
Right. And think about who it's coming from. It's coming from a big, strong fighter man, right? When the guy does that, it's like, maybe I should say yes, right? People are more inclined to listen to you when you're huge, when you're strong, when you're clearly better and stronger than most men, right? Men that have earned the right get authority. That's how it goes. Authority is not, it doesn't just exist out there. It is earned. You don't just get it as a man. You have to fight for it. That's how it goes.
War is your industry. Advertising is my industry. I've been in this industry for a long time. And I'm telling you, with your current strategy, you're having success now, but you won't have success in the future. And you're going to need a different form of advertising. That's exactly how I be. People be sitting there going, oh, okay, sigh. So you have to be very, very careful with your hands and how you use things. I am very good at that. You, me, this. All these things are learned. You have to adapt your own style. But you need to sit there and think consciously when you speak, what are you doing with your hands? If you're going to sit there and talk with your hands in your pockets, you're not going to be nearly as convincing.
No, that's indeed.
If I want to sit there and I want to come across as, there's the old mafia boss, you can sit and be like, with your hands in one place and just use your eyes instead. That works. But that's that's the kind of body language you use when you don't really want to talk anymore. If I'm about to have someone shot and they come in to apologize to me before I have them shot in the head, I won't be moving my hands. I'll be listening to them like this. Because I don't want to listen to them and I don't want to talk. I don't really give a fuck anymore. Like this, same. Your hands across, you don't really care. When I met Donald Trump Jr. in Trump Tower, I was super aware of his body language. What Trump did is something I've never seen before, Trump Jr. We sat down and we started talking. He sat like this, with his hands open on the table. I don't know where he learned that from, but I'm sure he was taught. We were having a normal conversation. We had coffees. We sat down at the table. It was a round table, not like this. And he sat down. He sat like this, which I thought was quite interesting.
Okay, so what could that mean? He's not crossing his arms. It's basically the equivalent of sitting with your arms, sitting with your hands on your lap, but not crossed. Sitting with them on your leg. It's open body language. That's what it is. It's not crossed. The arms aren't awkward, although it's a little bit weird. But what it does do, that sitting with your hands in your lap doesn't do, is it takes up space on the table without looking intimidating. Because you could also take up more space on the table by leaning forward with your elbows on the table. That's aggressive body language, right? But if you don't want aggressive body language and you want open body language while still taking space at the table, that's what you would use.
I've actually never seen anyone else do that before. So it kind of threw me a bit. And I thought maybe the reason he was taught that is because it's so unusual. Because I read people's body language and every other position, that you've seen it all. I've never seen this, really, ever. So that was interesting. So first thing you have to do is be very overtly aware of how you use your hands when you speak. If you want to direct something, if you want to be believed, if you want to be convincing, your hands have to be involved in that process.
Indeed.
When I was in my police interviews, once again, I would use my hands overtly. And I would sit there and say, I actually said in some of my police tapes, and when I get them back, when I'm finally cleared of all charges, even though it's been gone for 4 years, I get the tapes back. I'm going to release them on Twitter. It's going to be the best thing ever, because I made these police look like fucking fools. But I would say to them, in the tape, I would say, I said on the tape, I said, do you have a camera in here? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, we do. I said, okay, I want this for the camera. I don't want this for the tape. I want this for the camera. I am innocent. I am innocent. Me, I've done nothing wrong. Say innocent with your hands up. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. They're different things. I'm innocent. I want this on camera. For the tape, reference the time. What time is it? Point at someone when you need something. 5:15. 5:15. Look at the day. 5:15, 24th of November. Look, I've done nothing wrong. I said that shit directly to the camera. I'd reference it off the tape. Body language makes a huge, huge difference. And basically, if you want to be believed or trusted, in my experience, which is fucking vast, you need to use your hands effectively. I've given you some tips on how I do it. You have to adapt your own style. Like everything in the world, if you completely replicate someone else's style, it comes across as unnatural and it doesn't work.
So the tip is then use your hands to emphasize the points you're making. Don't hide your hands, don't cross them, don't cross your arms, don't hold your hands in front of your crotch, don't do that. Hands behind your head, I guess you could do if you're leaning against the wall, but that's very, very open and might to some seem intimidating. Hands to your side. You could also be side on to a person. So if you're talking to a man and you don't want to seem intimidating, like you're slapping the guy in the face, especially if you're a bigger guy, do side on, shoulder to shoulder, as opposed to face to face. Face to face is intimidating.
You need your own style. You can't be exactly the same as me, and I can't be exactly the same as you. Same as boxing or fighting. I can teach you how to do jab cross, but everyone does it a little bit different. Everyone has a slightly different style. So you have to adapt your own style. But what you need to do is be overtly aware. If you're aware of things, you'll pick up on things and you'll change things. So the first thing is you need to use your hands more.
By the way, the adage is what gets measured gets improved.
Effectively, especially to be trusted and listened to. All right, next. How to speak convincingly. To speak convincingly, a lot of you probably already know these things. You have to talk loud, you have to talk clear. And this is another thing you need to learn. I'm actually tempted to do a course specifically on oration, but you need to learn to speak effectively. The way you interact with the world outside of your little digital keyboard and your Twitter bullshit is with your voice. I know you're paying attention to my hands now. It's with your voice. If your voice is meek, or if your words aren't clear, or if you don't say what you mean effectively, then you're not going to be taken seriously.
Right.
People take me seriously because when I speak with a conviction. They sit there and go, this motherfucker knows The way he's talking, he knows what he's talking about.
Right. Speak clearly, enunciate, be clear in your intentions and what you want to say. And don't be afraid to use your voice. You don't have to boom it necessarily, but it needs to be strong and spoken from your chest, not from your nose. That's how you get the... So just if you put your hand on your chest and your chest is vibrating as you're speaking, it means you're projecting from your chest, which means you have the right power in your voice. You can't be speaking through your nose. Speaking through your nose makes you look meek. I agree.
And I do. Let's sit here and go, oh, okay, well, fuck that. And is something that you need to forget instantly. I don't care if you have to train yourself. I don't care if you have to look in the mirror. Get rid of get rid of get rid of gaps. It just completely destroys your entire image. That shit needs to go. And it's something that can be learned. And when I sit there and listen to people, oh, well, yeah. Well, yesterday we went out and then, it's like, what the fuck do you mean, I went out and then, well, you don't remember what you did yesterday? How slow is your fucking brain? You look like a moron. 99% of people look like idiots because they don't pay attention to how they speak.
You need to focus on how you're speaking. I'm working on it too. I say a lot. So we're going to work on that. Making sure to take the ums out. I am working on it, guys. Somebody actually made the comment in, there it is. Somebody made the comment in one of my previous videos. I'm working on it.
So with oration, it's extremely important. You get rid of ums, you get rid of ahs, you get rid of this bullshit. This is one of the first things you have to do to speak convincingly. Second things is with the hands, the body language. The third thing is you have to be, if you're standing or you're sitting regardless, you have to have a presence as a person. Nobody believes a nobody.
Indeed.
So if you're sitting in a room, you need to be overtly taking up space as a man, especially. Right. They call it mansplaining. That's what all the feminists call it. He's mansplaining. He's taking up space. I'm a man. I'm a fucking man. I got space. My space. It's mine. And I have something to say and you're to listen. If you want to be believed, it's a combination of things. But a lot of people just want to sit in their little chair. Oh, well, I was thinking that for the progress report, maybe. It's garbage. Also, there's nothing wrong with talking too loud. Outside of shouting, fucking talk loud. Conquer the room. You're going to piss some people off, but guess who you're going to piss off? You're going to piss off the betas. You're never going to piss off the boss. Like I said, when I used to have a job. The boss loved me. I'd sit in a meeting and just be like, look, here's how I sell. I was half yelling. I don't know about what the other guys are doing, but what I do is I tell them they better buy it today. The boss will sit there and go, this fucking guy. But I had the best sales record. If I sat there and go, well, I don't know how you do it, but what I sometimes do is, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
It's too meek. It's too weak. It's not assertive. It's not strong. Indeed.
Don't scream at people. Sit there and go, no, this, that, bang, direct. Don't be afraid of the attention you're going to get. If you have alpha body language, if you have serious body language and you project, you're going to attract a whole bunch of attention. If you're shy, you're not going to want the attention. It's going to impact your psyche. It's going to impact how you portray yourself.
Right.
Forget the attention. Don't worry about it. It's coming. There's no other way to project yourself. Project yourself in a way where you attract attention. Be loud. Fuck all wrong with it. Be loud. It's exactly the same with lying. Learning how to be convincing and how to be believable is the same when you lie. Now, people say when you lie, people look away from the eyes. In my experience, what happens when people lie is they actually know this, that everyone's been told they look away, and they look at you more, trying to prove they're not lying. The easiest way to lie is to not change your body language in any way from when you're telling the truth. A polygraph test, how does a polygraph test work? You can't just plug yourself in and say lie or true. It only knows by comparing you to a baseline. First, they ask you your name. They ask you questions you tell the truth to, and then they compare it when you lie, and they see the difference. Well, body language is no fucking different. If you know you're going to have to lie to somebody, you need to sit there before the conversation even starts and talk about something which is easy for you to talk about, and be smart enough to be speaking with one side of your brain, and with the other side of your brain, measuring where are my eyes, where are my hands, how am I standing, how am I sitting. And then when it starts coming to lie, you don't alter shit. If you're already looking them in the eyes, continue to look them in the eyes. If you're not looking at them, don't. If your hands are a certain way, keep them there. You only get detected on lies when you alter your body language. It doesn't matter what body language you have. You can be like I am now, alpha, projecting, trying to make a point, ultra convincing, or you can sit there like a meek little, it doesn't matter. If that is the default and you retain the default when you're telling the lie, then you have nothing to lose.
So there you go. Easy to understand. Maintain the same body language and you can convincingly lie.
So when you tell a lie, it's not about, well, how do I act when I tell a lie? It's not changing how you acted before. This is the most important thing. But most of you guys are so unaware of your body language, you're so unaware of where your hands go, unaware of where you're looking. Think of your last conversation with someone. Where were you looking? Think about it. At them, I guess. I don't know. You're going to like ignorant. You don't fucking know. If you learn your own shit, and you adapt your own shit to have a style which is favorable to you and favorable to your outcomes, this is going to be very, very easy for you to lie because you can replicate your own style. So that's how you fucking lie. I will pass any lie detector test there is. In fact, I'm writing that down for a Tate speech. We're getting a lie detector company in here. I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to pass it. And the reason I'm going to pass it is because I don't give a fuck. Ask me.
Yeah, he's just going to use the same tone and the same body language, and he's not going to have a spike in heart rate or anything. By the way, it's much easier to do this when you've had harder challenges in your life, right? He's fought many, many fights, right? You have to experience pain and you know, suffering that most men don't experience. Of course, doing something easier is then easier. Also, your nervous system doesn't get as nervous because you've done harder things. That's the point. All right, we're going to end the video there. New to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all for notifications, drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, Tom M. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Go to my Patreon and subscribe, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for listening to the end. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time.